From the moment you were born, you began collecting. Not money, not possessions, but impressions. A voice telling you what is right and what is wrong, what is acceptable and what must be hidden. You did not choose your name. You did not choose your language, your religion, or your cultural conditioning. These were assigned to you. And slowly, you began to associate this bundle of collected information with the word me. But is that truly you, or just a costume stitched together with threads of memory? Think about it. Your likes and dislikes, your opinions, your emotional triggers, even your sense of self-worth. Are these truly yours? Or were they handed down by someone else, somewhere else, at some other time? Much of what you identify with has been unconsciously absorbed from family, school, media, or society. The way you think, the way you react, the way you define success or failure, all are echoes of other people's voices bouncing around in your head. You've mistaken this noise for your own voice. Your mind is like a mirror that has gathered dust over time. Every incident, every trauma, every praise, and every rejection leaves a mark. Eventually, the reflection becomes unclear, distorted. The mirror doesn't lie, but if it is covered in dust, what you see isn't true either. The self you think you are today is not a result of conscious creation. It's a result of unconscious absorption. Until you recognize this, you will keep living a life based on past echoes, not present awareness. This is why transformation does not begin with change. It begins with recognition. Recognition that you defend, protect, and fear losing is nothing more than a structure built from memory. It's an illusion so convincing, you mistake it for reality. And as long as you keep identifying with this illusion, life will remain a loop of repeated patterns, emotional reactions, and unfulfilled desires. Only when you begin to see that you are not the mind, but the awareness behind it, does the true journey inward begin. The true self cannot be described in words, because it is not a thing. It is a presence. It cannot be remembered because it was never part of your memory. It can only be experienced when the mental chatter stops, when the layers of borrowed identity begin to fall away. The one who is watching, aware, still, that is closer to the real you than any story you've ever told yourself. So the task is not to become something more. The task is to become everything that is not you. That is how your old self begins to dissolve each morning. Before the world enters your mind with its noise, expectations, and urgency, there is a sacred silence. It is in that fragile space between sleep and wakefulness where real transformation is possible. Before your mind remembers your name, your problems, or your ambitions, there is a moment where you are nothing. That moment is not emptiness, it is purity. But most people rush past it, grabbing their phone, grabbing their to-do list, grabbing yesterday's baggage without question. Why do we wake up and instantly replay the past? Why do we immediately identify with stress, with struggle, with the same roles we played the day before? It is because we forget the gift that the morning brings. A complete reset. Life is not asking you to be who you were yesterday. Life doesn't care about your resume. The sun rises not for the person you used to be, but for the being you are capable of becoming today. But to claim that freshness, you must first drop the weight of the past. Most of us are addicted to continuity. We feel safer when we keep repeating our stories. I am like this. This always happens to me. People don't understand me. These are not truths, they are loops. But every morning is a break in that loop. The body has rested. The mind is quiet. And in that state, you have the rare opportunity to begin again. Not by force, but by clarity. Before thought reclaims you, you can simply sit with the breath and decide, do I want to carry the same self today? Or is there room for something more conscious? Letting go of who you were yesterday does not mean denying your past. It means not being possessed by it. What happened yesterday may teach you something, but it should not define you. The identity you wore yesterday might have been reactive, wounded, insecure, but this morning, none of that has to be repeated unless you choose it. This is the power of morning stillness. If you spend even 5 minutes just being aware without judgment, without labels, you'll feel the space opening within you. And space is freedom. The silence of the morning is not empty. It is full of potential. Within it lies every possibility, calmness, clarity, creativity, joy. But most importantly, it holds the possibility of you being unburdened. Every morning, life erases the board. You are the one who writes the same story back onto it. What if just once you don't? What if you allow yourself to meet the morning not as a character in a script, but as awareness, as presence, as a new being untouched by the past? We have been taught to chase abundance by adding more effort, more goals, more possessions, more strategies. But true abundance is not a matter of stacking things outside. It is about removing what obstructs the natural flow within. Just as a river doesn't need more water to flow freely, it simply needs its blockages removed. Likewise, your life doesn't require more to become abundant. It requires less resistance, less fear, less mental clutter. Abundance is not created, it is uncovered. What blocks abundance isn't a lack of talent or opportunity. It's the walls built by past experiences. You may seek wealth, love peace, or health, but if you carry deep, seated beliefs of unworthiness, fear of loss, or comparison with others, you will unconsciously reject the very things you are chasing. The mind works like a gatekeeper. It lets in what matches your internal blueprint. So when you begin the inner work of deletion, removing limiting beliefs, dissolving ego, quieting the noise, you begin to notice that life already wanted to give you more. When your inner world is cluttered, abundance cannot land. It's like inviting sunlight into a room full of dust. It only highlights the mess. So life waits, not because it is cruel, but because it is precise. Until you make room for abundance, it will not force itself upon you. This is why so many people try harder, push more, achieve faster, but still feel empty. They are adding, not deleting. True wealth is a result of spaciousness, not accumulation. Take a tree, for example. It does not cling to its leaves in autumn. It lets go effortlessly because nature trusts the cycle of renewal. Similarly, when you begin to trust that life is intelligent, that letting go will not leave you with less, but actually make space for more, you start to operate from ease, not desperation. You no longer beg for abundance. You become a host for it. It flows not because you chased it, but because you made room for it to arrive. This is why the most powerful practice for receiving is not grabbing, it is shedding. When you let go of inner noise, when you release guilt, shame, comparison, and fear, you begin to feel abundant even before anything external changes. And that feeling is not delusion. It is alignment. It is a signal to the universe that the vessel is now open. So abundance begins not with more. It begins with less ego, less attachment, less resistance. There is a subtle but profound difference between wanting something and being aligned with it. Most people confuse desire with magnetism. They believe that if they want something badly enough, life will deliver it. But desperation is not a vibration of attraction. It is a signal of lack. It pushes what you seek further away because it is rooted in the feeling that you don't already have it, and more importantly, that you are not enough without it. The universe doesn't respond to begging. It responds to clarity, stability, and wholeness. Inner alignment is the state where your thoughts, emotions, and energy are moving in the same direction, not scattered, not contradicting. When you are aligned, you do not chase, you draw. You do not panic, you prepare. Alignment means your inner state already matches what you seek externally. A peaceful person attracts peaceful circumstances. A person in joy magnetizes opportunities. But someone in desperation, even if they get what they want, often sabotages it because the inner environment is out of tune with the outer event. Have you ever noticed that when you're deeply relaxed and centered, things seem to just happen? Conversations flow, solutions appear, people are drawn to you. This is not coincidence. It is alignment in action. You are not forcing life. You are allowing life. Alignment is a state of ease, not effort. It doesn't mean you don't take action. It means your action arises from inner balance, not from panic. When the instrument is tuned, the music plays effortlessly. When you are tuned, life begins to move effortlessly toward you. Desire alone is noisy. It comes from the mind, which is restless, hungry, and easily disturbed. But alignment arises from a deeper intelligence, a place of stillness within. That stillness is not passive, it is powerful. It doesn't scream, it doesn't chase. It simply resonates at a level where the right people, opportunities, and timing begin to sync up. The outer world is not separate from your inner state. It reflects it constantly. So the question is not, how badly do I want it? The question is, am I aligned with it? Inner alignment requires honesty. You must be willing to look at yourself and ask, am I embodying what I seek? If you want love, are you vibrating love? Or are you vibrating loneliness? If you want abundance, are you living with gratitude? Or are you acting from scarcity? Alignment is not a trick to get what you want. It is a transformation into the kind of person who naturally receives what you once had to chase. When you reach this space, you realize life was never holding anything back. It was waiting for you to become ready. Life is not a marketplace where you bargain with your desires. It's a mirror reflecting back to you the truth of your inner state. You may want peace, success, love, or freedom. But if your energy is filled with anxiety, concern, confusion, and fear, life responds not to your wishes, but to your vibration. This is not superstition, it is subtle science. You do not get what you beg for. You get what you are aligned with. Who you are being right now is more important than what you're asking for in words. This is why so many people feel frustrated with the idea of manifestation. They affirm abundance, yet feel poor. They visualize love, but carry wounds they've never healed. They speak of peace, but are secretly drowning in inner conflict. The universe does not respond to words. It responds to your state of being. If there is a gap between your desire and your current vibration, what you attract will always reflect the vibration, not the desire. You don't draw in what's on your mind. You draw in what's in your frequency. To shift your reality, you must first shift your being. Not through pretending or performing, but by deepening your awareness of what you're radiating. Are you radiating fear disguised as ambition? Are you wearing confidence like a costume while internally doubting your worth? The mirror cannot lie. You can only attract externally what you already are internally. If abundance hasn't come, perhaps it's because your identity still clings to scarcity. If deep love hasn't arrived, perhaps the inner walls have not yet fallen. This is why inner work is not optional. It's foundational. Changing your being doesn't mean changing your personality. It means cleansing the lens through which you see yourself and the world. When you change the lens, the world you see changes too. If you wake each morning and become the version of yourself who already has peace, joy, and freedom, you are not pretending. You are shifting. You are aligning with a different layer of existence that has always been available but hidden beneath old patterns. So the task is not to push harder for outcomes. It is to become still enough to observe what you are actually broadcasting. Are you broadcasting presence or desperation, trust or doubt, wholeness or lack? The universe has no bias. It simply reflects back what you are. When you begin to take full responsibility for your vibration, life becomes less about chasing and more about harmonizing. And in that harmony, what you once ran after begins to quietly walk toward you.